It's really strange here. So, they're actual resorts. Like, there are older people and couples, and then there's us. Staying in a dorm room for £5 a night with a beer. I love it. It's a good layover for 6 days.
Hola! We are in Fiji now and we're having a really amazing time here.
Yeah.
We haven't had a chance to talk to the camera at all because it's been either really windy or we've just been relaxing.
So we're on Mamanuca Island right now. It's one of the Mamanuca Islands, which is like northwest of Nadi, where you fly into. We're staying in Fiji for 6 days, 5 nights before heading over to San Francisco. So we just wanted to give a little overview of how to plan and sort of navigate your way around Fiji.
When you come to Fiji, you have to visit the islands. The first thing we noticed was that the ferry crossings cost a lot of money. So to get to the close islands that we're on, it can be about £30 one way, but to get to the Asawa Islands, which are often visited for manta rays, it can cost up to £70.
Once you're on the islands, the good thing is there are some cheap and cheerful resorts, and they have like dorm rooms with like 10 beds, 12 beds. The only thing about these resorts is that you have to buy food and water from the resort restaurants because there's no supermarkets and there's nothing else on the island. So that can raise the cost.
We decided to visit the closest islands to Nadi that we could. These are the Mamanuca Islands. So they're about an hour ferry trip, and the ferries are the cheapest ferries we could find.
Maybe if we were here for a bit longer, we would have got the Bula Pass.
So the Bula Pass costs 400 Fijian dollars, and that allows you to go to the Asawa Islands and island hop, which basically just means you can get as many trips as you want for 400 Fijian, which is about £150.
Yeah.
So we thought this was it was a good deal, but only if you're staying for about a week or longer. With our it's only actually really 5 full days here. It just wasn't worth going out to the Asawas. It does also take a lot of time. It's a 3 to 4 hour ferry trip out there. So the cheap and cheerful resorts that we've mentioned, they're very, very basic. We'll show you our dorm room basically, but it's beds without any aircon. Like, you don't really need it at this time of year because it's not too hot in the evenings.
They call them resorts, but it's not really resorts as you know them back home. So it's just a little bit of a...
It's more like a hostel that has a restaurant. But yeah, still our budgets ended up being about £50 a day. You could actually survive on a lot less if you stayed on mainland Fiji, just because it's a lot cheaper without the ferry crossings.
You can't really say you've done Fiji if you haven't gone to the islands.
Yeah, you have to get to a couple of islands. It's totally worth it. Going over to Malolo Island, which is quite close by, but still watch out that even though the islands are close by, the transfers between them still cost the same amount. So it's about £35 for every sort of island hop you do. Yeah.
He keeps calling him Mahalo, Monolulu.
I can't get the island name right, so I'm just going to let you say it.
The cool thing is that right now they're filming Survivor on the other side of the island. So that kind of gives you an insight into how unreal Survivor is.
The only problem with the Survivor being filmed here is that you're actually only allowed on about a 300-meter stretch of the beach, and the rest of the island is completely closed. It's really strange. Like, they've actually got like
security
guards around stopping you from moving anywhere. So like on this island, Mana, which is very popular to come to, there isn't a huge amount to do other than the paid activities. So be careful when you come to Mana Island. So Izzy and I have just got to our new resort, and holy moly, like, it's barely more expensive. We have been upgraded to a private double room despite booking a dorm room. This is the house.
This is the view. And I believe this is costing £17 per night each. Pretty amazing. I'm going to show you inside now.
Come in, Twabba. Oh, you can lock me in.
Oh, that's strange.
We have a toilet with a light that actually works. And look, it's an outdoor shower.
Swimming time. At the other resort we couldn't really swim because there was so many rocks out on the reef. Here, beautiful sand and maybe a few rocks, but it should be good. We are on the island of Malolo, which is near Mana Island. Behind us is the Six Senses, which Izzy tells me is a beautiful resort. And yeah, we're not really looking on it jealousy, we really like our own one. We're just going for a little wander to find out the geography of the island and just explore a little bit.
Gatecrash, the Six Senses Resorts Beach.
It's quite fancy.
Beyond gravel, beyond a bigger scale, the world inhales as we go. I wouldn't want it any other way, no. Dreamy, breezy we go.
It's our final night in Fiji. So it's been a good 4 days of just like kind of chilling out on the beach. Yeah,
Reading a lot of books.
the mini holiday.
We often feel like we have to do a lot of activities, like for example when we're in Sydney or whatever, but here there literally isn't anything to do other than read and relax.
Yeah,
Wow.
I just scratch my nose.
Something to take from Fiji is definitely that it's still quite primitive in a way that like I think the locals almost want to preserve their own culture rather than like make everything really Western, like fancy. Like we haven't had a hot shower here. It's always been cold. Obviously we've always been in budget accommodation, but I think that's just more like the norm here.
Yeah.
The locals are awesome.
Oh, they're so friendly.
You won't really find like a general like population just being so kind and
so
welcoming
helpful.
and always smile.
We both enjoyed it.
We have. Really happy to have come here.
But now, San Francisco.